Our first reading for the 33rd Sunday in Ordinary Time, from the book of Proverbs. When one finds a worthy wife, her value is far beyond pearls. Her husband, entrusting his heart to her, has an unfailing prize. She brings him good and not evil all the days of her life. She obtains wool and flax and works with loving hands. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her fingers ply the spindle. She reaches out her hands to the poor and extends her arms to the needy. Charm is deceptive, and beauty fleeting. The woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her a reward for her labors. Let her works praise her at the city gates. The word of the Lord. Our second reading is from Paul's first letter to the Thessalonians. Concerning times and seasons, brothers and sisters, you have no need for anything to be written to you, for you yourselves know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief at night. When people are saying peace and security, then sudden disaster comes upon them, like labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. But you, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness, for that day to overtake you like a thief. For all of you are children of the light and children of the day. You are not of the night or of the darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as the rest do, but let us stay alert and sober. The word of the Lord. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus told his disciples this parable. A man going on a journey called in his servants and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to a third 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. Immediately the one who received 5 talents went and traded with them, and made another 5. Likewise the one who received 2 made another 2. But the man who received 1 went off and dug a hole in the ground and buried his master's money. After a long time the master of those servants came back and settled accounts with them. The one who had received 5 talents came forward, bringing the additional 5. He said, Master, you gave me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. And the one who had received 2 talents came forward and said, Master, you gave me 2 talents. See, I have made 2 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. And the one who had received the 1 talent came forward and said, Master, I knew you were a demanding person, harvesting where you did not plant and gathering where you did not scatter. So out of fear I went off and buried your talent in the ground. Here it is back. His master said to him in reply, You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I did not plant and gather where I did not scatter. Should you not have put my money in the bank so that I could have it back with interest on my return? Now then, take the talent from him and give it to the one with 10. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will grow rich. But the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And throw this useless servant into the darkness outside, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. The Gospel of the Lord. I have often said when Jesus claims that the one who has more will be given to him, and the one who has less, even the less he has, will be taken away, I think he's predicting the IRS in this country. We are approaching the end time, people. I don't mean the end of the world. I mean the end of the liturgical season. There's only one more ordinary time on Sunday next week before we move into the Advent season at the end of November and the beginning of a brand new liturgical year. A pastor once asked his 90-year-old parishioner what one thing she learned in all her years. She said to him that a rich life is one that ends without regrets. She continued to say that the biggest regrets may not be the things you did that you wish you had not done. The things you will most likely regret are those things you did not do that you wish you had done. Matthew's gospel contains three people in a parable entrusted with great wealth from their master and expected to gain profit. Jesus uses the word talent as money, but a talent in Jesus' day was a huge amount of money, equivalent to roughly 15 years of wages. Two of the people received the talents and made more. The third was afraid, so he just buried it. Part of the gospel message could be for us to beware things left undone. The first reading from Proverbs gives the praise to an ideal wife who cares for her husband and her family. I have to tell you that this life I've chosen as a priest is one that I've wanted since around the age of 9. I never deviated from that. I said that I wanted it, I went for it, and without regrets, I received it. Never regretted one day of it. Enjoyed every minute I have spent wherever I have been, in a parish or in a school. There were times when I came home from seminary, though, and I made sure that I dated. There were a lot of girls I knew, and I would come home and call them and take them out. I really enjoyed doing that too, but I never once deceived them. I told them all the time, here's what I want to be. I'm not sure they believed me, but I know they do now. There were a couple I really loved, and I questioned whether or not I wanted to be married. And after a long time of deciding and praying, I stuck with this life because it's still the one I wanted. Of course, I always say that if the Yankees had called me to be a pitcher, I may have gone to them. But now at this age, thinking back to that time, I'm pretty sure that if they called me, it would have been a wrong number. What regrets do we have in our lives, people? What have we been afraid to do that has held us back? Asking someone's hand in marriage? Going for something we've really wanted? I ask you to look at that. I ask you to take a look at our lives and make sure that the biggest regret is not using the grace that Jesus Christ gave us in our lives to care for others and to do good, whatever vocation, work, marriage, family. I want to leave you with a prayer from the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer. It goes like this: Lord, forgive us for those things we have done that we ought not to have done. Forgive us for those things we did not do that we ought not to have left undone. God bless. Have a good week.